breaking news and trending talk with Mike and McCarty. Mornings on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
FM, 710 KEEL, Mike and McCarty on the Jack Spring Electric Newsmaker Hotline this morning. Richard Llewellyn, meteorologist with the Weather Channel. Possible risk today: wind, tornadoes, hail, death, destruction, mayhem, madness.
Hey.
Look out for large hail. It says all of that on the Weather Channel.
Oh, boy. It doesn't say death, destruction.
Yeah. The apocalypse didn't come with the eclipse yesterday. It's coming today.
Oh, man. So how bad is it, Richard?
Do we have a possibility of tornadoes and hail today?
Yeah, and a lot of flooding, too. In fact, we just got another flash flood warning for Bossier and Caddo, as well as northwestern Webster, and then Columbia and Lafayette counties in Arkansas till 10:15. We're here in Shreveport already. We've already picked up about 4 inches of rain, and we're going to continue to add to that as we move on through the course of the days as rain trains over the same areas. And this really isn't the big show. The big show is still back down in Mexico, and it's going to swing into the area later this afternoon and tonight and bring the potential for some big storms that could produce large hail, damaging winds, and tornadoes. So, we just go from the frying pan into the fryer, so to speak, as the day marches on, as we're just going to see round after round after round of showers and thunderstorms. This may help us a little bit. This rain that we're getting this morning may help to cut down on the severe weather threat, but we haven't seen that yet. And I think that there's still that chance that we're going to get some stronger thunderstorms in here a little bit later on today as a result.
Richard, my friend, you just said we've gotten 4 inches of rain in the less than 24 hours, I got to assume, because it really wasn't raining until after the eclipse yesterday. And how much more is on the way?
Yeah, so far the climate report that we've got out of Shreveport that came out at 3:45 this morning had 3.81 inches of rain for Shreveport. We've probably picked up another 1 to 2 on top of that. I haven't seen the latest report yet for Shreveport, but we are starting to get the cooperative network of stations. There are a lot of people that have rain gauges, and they take the rain reports and they report them to the National Weather Service, and all that information is fed into the models. Go over across the border into Texas, just south of Marshall. They've already picked up over 6 inches of rain just south of Marshall with an 8 a.m. Update that came in from there. So, we're probably talking about the potential in some spots more than 8 inches of rain, maybe 9 to 10 in some spots. And flooding is definitely going to be a concern here as we just continue to see these rain showers, basically tracking from Tyler and Longview right into Shreveport and moving right on up into southern Arkansas as these rain showers just continue to roll in across the same area over and over again. When we look at radar, we can see these showers and storms just kind of backfilling and just kind of rolling right over the top of us. So, we've got a long way to go in regards to the shower and thunderstorm activity. Maybe get a break in here this afternoon, and then we get that second round that comes in this evening.
We under a tornado watch?
No, not yet. That will probably come later today if we do see anything. Right now, with the rounds of showers and thunderstorms that we've got rolling through now, it's kind of keeping the lid on the potential for severe weather. There is a lot of lightning. As I look at the lightning tracker, too, one of the things that we see is just a tremendous amount of lightning with these storms, especially in Caddo Parish, working back over into Harrison County, Texas, where just these storms just continue to feed in. So they've got a lot of dynamic energy associated with it, and these storms just kind of feed back into parts of central Texas, all the way back south of Waco. We're seeing this big line of lightning and thunder associated with these storms. So, we can expect round after round after round of showers and thunderstorms pretty much all day long. And this is going to be a long duration event for us. In fact, the rains could go all the way through tomorrow night before we finally get a break on Thursday from the shower and thunderstorm activity.
Are you getting reports of hail over in the Dallas area headed our way?
We have had reports of hail during the overnight hours tonight, or overnight last night. We did see some reports of hail. It looks like things have kind of calmed down in the Metroplex right now, but one of the things we are starting to see is a lot of, back into Texas, we're seeing a lot of river flood warnings that are starting to go up along a lot of the rivers over there as, the grounds has been saturated. They've had quite a bit of rain here as of late. So we're starting to see some river flood warnings starting to go up. We're going to have to keep an eye on the rivers around here, too, if we get the amount of rainfall activity that we're expecting here in the next couple of days.
Richard Llewellyn with the Weather Channel. Thank you, sir. We appreciate your time this morning. Stay safe.
Thank you, guys. We'll keep an eye on the weather for you.
Thank you. Speaking of the weather, storms are moving across our area, causing power outages. Over 18,000 without power now. We'll talk with William Bradford from SWEPCO coming up right after the break. Mike and McCarty, 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL.
Back with more of Mike and McCarty on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
On the Jack Spring Electric Newsmaker Hotline in this deluge right now from SWEPCO, William Bradford. William, good morning. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning, Mike and Aaron. Good morning.
Oh, my gosh.
18,000 SWEPCO customers now without power.
Right.
It is poor. We're looking out our huge, we're right next to plate glass windows, which I'm not thrilled about at the moment.
This is a doozy, huh? You've got the power outages are still coming in, huh?
Yeah, when you look at about our 552,000 customer base, we've got about 3% outage rate right now. And, while that doesn't seem like a big number, that is a lot of people who are uncomfortable right now, who woke up without power. But we are, and our key priority right now is restoring that power, but doing so in a safe manner for our customers. We have men and women out there on the line right now. Our troublemen are out assessing these issues. They're working to restore power. But, just like you said, just a few minutes ago, and like our meteorologist said earlier, you're dealing with an unprecedented amount of rainfall as well as lightning strikes, especially the lightning strikes in our area. Make for a dangerous situation out in the field. And so, we have to be safe while we're doing restoration efforts as well.
And these guys and gals that are out on in these box trucks that are these lift trucks that are working on these power lines in conditions like this, I am so grateful for. But we also, as customers, need to be a little patient because, like you said,
sure,
their safety is the first concern. And,
Absolutely.
and we're grateful for them being out in this, taking care of us.
Right. Restoration efforts started as soon as the storm began and power outages started filtering in. But like you said, these are men and women who want to go home to their families. And so, especially, and I reiterate, especially dealing with active lightning strikes in our area, we have to be very mindful of that. And so, we're asking the public to be just a little patient with us while we make our restoration efforts. As you can see, when you drive down the street, our folks are out. They're working right now. And, SWEPCO has continued to make investment in hardening our lines and hardening our assets and making sure to be ready for storms like this. We practice a lot within our offices to be ready for events just like this. And so we thank our men and women who are out in the field, who are doing restoration efforts. And, again, we ask the public to be just a little patient with us while we get the power back on to your homes.
One question is people are waking and with no power. Should they report it? Should they check to see if it's been reported first? What's your advice to people who wake up or whose power suddenly goes out today?
Absolutely. One great thing to do is go onto our SWEPCO website and notify us of your outage. That's one of the benefits of the AMI smart meters that we're deploying right now. Currently, in some circuits and lines, we don't know until you tell us or until we have someone out in the field who sees it. And so moving forward in the future with the deployment of our AMI meters, we'll be able to know in real time where those outages are, whether it be two houses down deep into a neighborhood that are on a different circuit. That's a critical deployment that we're doing right now. But yes, please go on, notify us of your outage so we know to come and begin restoration efforts in your area.
William Bradford, another great way, and I really love your guys' app, is the SWEPCO app. You can notify of that, and you can also get text updates on conditions in your area through the SWEPCO app.
That's right, and it happens in real time. And so, we've made a very progressive effort in giving the public technology and our customers technology that allows them to assess the issues and see the response times. So, yes, please download the app. Make sure to use it. And, again, notify us of outages in your area.
William Bradford with SWEPCO. We know that a couple of schools had to close today because of no power, Woodlawn and North Highlands. What seems to be the hardest hit areas in our community right now?
Well, it started north of town, and it's working its way down. So it's all over. I mean, our system, I think it's pretty clear and evident once you look outside that this is pretty system-wide, that this is a large storm cell. And so, but North Shreveport, northern areas, Texarkana, those areas were hit early, and we're beginning those efforts, or we're continuing those efforts to restore power.
The rain, it looks like it's going to be a rain event all day. So this could be a little bit of you need to be a little patient, correct?
Sure, yeah, it's a prolonged rain event. We expect to see it through, I believe, Wednesday, Thursday. And, but again, our folks are still out in the field working to restore power, and will continue to do so in a safe manner. As long as it's safe to, be on those trucks, be in those poles, they're going to continue their restoration efforts because we want to get our customers back to baseline and back into a comfortable environment.
When I sat my hiney in this chair at about 4:30 this morning, the number was about 8,000. We're now at 18,000? What's the latest number you have of outages?
That's about right. So at last check, we were close to 18,000, which I said before is about 3% of our customer base. And we want to, but even though the 3% number may not sound high, we do recognize as a priority that there are 18,000 people out there right now without power who are looking for us to go out and continue our restoration efforts, and we're going to continue doing that. Looking
at trees across the interstate that are kind of blowing sideways, that has to be a concern that, more areas will be knocked out. So, again, sure. Y'all are watching it closely.
Absolutely. That's why those right-of-ways are so important to our company and to our transmission folks because, when you have trees near and by those power lines, it makes for a risk. And so we continue to try and quell those issues and make sure that our lines are given the best possible chance to be resilient and to continue providing service to our customers. And so, we'll continue to monitor the storm and be ready to react as well as be proactive in how we get out into the field and assess issues and restore power during this extended storm that we're undergoing right now, but also moving forward into the future.
William Bradford with SWEPCO. Any last message to our listeners before we let you go?
Absolutely. Thank you. First off, and please continue to be patient. If you look outside, you see what we see, and our folks are working diligently to make sure that we restore power in a safe manner.
Stay safe.
Thank you for your time this morning.
Thank you all. Have a good day.
You too. 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL. Coming up, Dr. Kate Brumley with the Louisiana Department of Education joining us, talking about the education savings accounts. Mike and McCarty, 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL.
Let's get back to the show with Mike and McCarty on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
Superintendent of Education, Dr. Kate Brumley, will be joining us coming up right after the break. The education savings accounts did sail through the House, now heading toward the Louisiana Senate. We'll talk to him about that and others concerning Louisiana education right after the break. Mike and McCarty, 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL, and on the free KEEL app.
Now more breaking news and trending talk with Mike and McCarty on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
On the Jack Spring Electric Newsmaker Hotline, Louisiana Superintendent of Education, Dr. Kate Brumley, joining us. Dr. Brumley, good morning.
Hey, guys. Thanks for having me back.
Yes, sir. I told Aaron, I said, we just got to speak with him the other day. But,
I know it's my good fortune to be able to visit with you all so soon.
You are too kind.
Yes.
Look, a lot on the agenda. You've got, first of all, the education savings accounts has passed through the House. Do you expect the Senate to hold it up?
Yeah, look, it came through the House yesterday with a supermajority. 7 over 70 votes in the House. It was a really impressive vote there. For parents and the school choice movement altogether, I think it was a really good day. Interestingly, we had 6 Democrats that voted for that bill yesterday, which I think is more Democrats voted for that in terms of a percentage than any of the other states across the country. So I thought that was also an interesting fact. But yeah, so that bill, the Gator Scholarship Fund, will now head over to the Senate. So it'll be interesting to see what happens over on that side.
Let me ask you a philosophical question, if you don't mind. We go back a minute. Is it the job of you as an education leader and of school boards across this state and Bessie, is it your job to do what's best by the children, or is it your job to do what's in the best interest of protecting the public dollars? That debate's been raging here, and we've had a couple of school board members saying, it's my job to protect the money that is spent on the children. It's a philosophical debate, but I would think it's the children that should come first, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think that if you talk to any of the members of our board, and certainly for myself and our administration, we're most interested in the child. And we believe that, an educational system in the state of Louisiana could include a number of options, whether that's our traditional public schools, and there are so many outstanding traditional public schools, and overwhelmingly families want to send their kids to their local neighborhood schools. That's the way it is. But we also have a growing body of public charter schools that have settled into places where there have been maybe historical failure, or maybe these public charters have a special niche or area of interest that families enjoy. And then I think beyond that, we have private education in the state of Louisiana because religious education predates public education. So we have that, and then, we protect the independence of homeschool community. So for us, we just look at the system not as a school district per se, but as a system of options for families where they can pick what makes the most sense for their kid. And I think not particularly the Gator Scholarship or any individual ESA, but just the concept in general of allowing parents to be in the driver's seat of where their child is educated, typically is the best thing to do.
Well, let me ask you this. There's the debate rages whether these private schools, parochial schools, will have to meet the same standards as public schools. And many are saying under this bill they don't. Is that wrong? Is that true?
Well, I think it depends on what standards for which their concern might be. So, for instance, if you're talking about do private schools have to take the LEAP test? The answer to that is they might, but they would not have to. The students who would participate in the Gator Scholarship program, as that bill is drafted, would have to take some form of national norm reference test in reading and math and have those results reported out. So that in terms of testing and a letter grade, those types of things would not be the same. So that would be accurate.
So the schools wouldn't be graded.
What they're referencing.
So the schools would not be graded.
In the present way in which the law is written, the schools would not be graded. But keep in mind, Gator Scholarship, the way it's crafted, is not just about non-public or private schools. So the way in which it's written is you could have a family that decides to use their money just for tutoring services or other resources. So it doesn't necessarily have to be directly towards the non-public school. It's whatever collection of resources might make the most sense for a child. And so that is where that bill stands at the moment, and probably the pushback that you're hearing locally on accountability, either from local school boards or maybe some of the local educational leaders, has to do with, do the students have to take the LEAP test, and is there a letter grade, and those sorts of things.
Dr. Kay Brumley, I agree with the ESAs. I think they're a great idea. But there are those who say that school choice destroys communities. What do you say to that?
Well, I tend to think that school choice elevates the family. And whether it is, again, your traditional public schools or any of the other options that I've further suggested, or public charters or homeschools or private or ESA, I think just putting the families in the driver's seat is a good decision. If you look at Arizona began an ESA program in 2011. They went full universal a few years ago, and right now, of all the students in the state of Arizona that could participate in an ESA, less than 3% participate. You know, if a family feels comfortable with their local public school and if they enjoy the teachers and they feel like they're being supported and their kid is safe, you know, I really don't think they're going to move. But what you have is sometimes that particular school, for whatever reason, maybe it's not the school, maybe it's something that has to do with the circumstance of the family. It just doesn't work out. And so this just gives an additional option to families. But again, you know, and I've had this conversation with local superintendents for a couple of years now. You know, I don't think you're going to see this mass exodus from the traditional public schools. I just don't. It doesn't bear out in what has happened in other states. But for families that feel like they need a different option, you know, it gives them that option.
One more concern on this front, and then we'll move on. I got this question. What about private and charter schools kicking children out after the October 1 date? They keep the MFP money. Public school would get none of it.
Yeah, well, that's just not even how this bill works.
Okay.
So the way in which this bill works is a family, if they choose to participate in the program, you know, if they're a lower income family, they would get a higher dollar amount. If they're a middle income or above, they would get a lower ESA amount. And those funds are basically in an account. The family never gets they never get a check for the dollars. The funds are an account. And there are allowable expenses, and they can be drafted by those providers for those allowable expenses. So it really would not even work in that way.
Superintendent of Education, Dr. Cade Brumley, House Bill 143 authorizes you to hire a chief operating officer to make recommendations relative to the financial practices of local school systems failing to comply with the MFP's minimum instructional expenditure requirement. A compliance czar. What does that mean?
This is because what we're seeing in a growing number of systems across the state, and certainly not every system, but in a growing number of systems, we're seeing less and less dollars in terms of a proportion going into the classroom. And we have a state policy that says of all state funding to a public school, 70% of that dollar must go into classroom instruction. So whenever you think about that, what's included? That's your classroom teacher salaries, that's your textbooks, that's your technology, that's your supplies, that's other resources. And so what we're seeing is more systems who are not meeting that mark, meaning that they're not getting that 70% in the classroom and that they're having to use more and more dollars for overhead. And so what happens every year is, you know, my office is required to publish a list of those school systems that didn't meet the 70% mark, but that's it. So people invariably will say, okay, well, there's the list. What are you going to do? And the answer is I have no authority to do anything other than publish the list. And so what this particular bill would allow me to do, if a school system for 2 consecutive years did not meet that 70% mark, then I would have the ability, if I so chose, to assign that system a chief operating officer that would go in and look at their finances and make recommendations on how they could drive more dollars into the classroom. And so for me, this is really about increasing teacher pay. This is about making sure kids have access to a high-quality teacher and reducing overhead that is not classroom-related. So this is a bill that Representative Tony Bacaloff is running, and it would give our agency, it would give me the ability to assign a chief operating officer if we saw a school system that repeatedly was not putting enough dollars into the classroom.
One more thing before we let you go. Spill the tea. Is Caddo, Bossier, DeSoto on that list?
Caddo is on the list for the first time that I am aware. Whenever I looked at the list this year, I believe Caddo was around 69%. And so that is their first year to be on that list. And I don't think Bossier or DeSoto are on the list. But to answer your question, yes, Caddo is on the list.
Okay. I'm going to get that list from your people today, if you don't mind. I appreciate it, sir. Thank you for your time.
Yes, ma'am.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, ma'am. Good to see you all, or visit with you all.
You bet.
Thank you, Dr. Bromley. 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL, Mike and McCarty.
Back to the big stories of the day with Mike and McCarty on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
What a mess out there today.
Yeah, the road, by the way, 220 is a mess.
Oh, Ruben, how many wrecks? Like 30?
With the construction in Bossier on I-20, that's not good.
You're directing everybody onto 220, and now there's wrecks all over 220. So how do you get there from here, Ruben? Do you come into downtown Shreveport on Market? I can't hear you. Why can't I hear him?
I don't know.
We can't hear you.
I can't hear you.
Yeah, you have to turn it on.
Sorry, I'm updating traffic every 2 minutes.
I guess you travel North Market into downtown Shreveport?
That's pretty back. According to the map right now, that's pretty backed up too. So it's slow going wherever you are right now. It's backed up on I-20, I-220. There are several spots that I'm looking at, and I don't even know what's going on. So yeah, it's a total mess out there.
Wow. If you're coming west, I'm trying to figure out how you could get. You get off on 220. Somehow get over to the Highway 80, maybe get to East Texas in Bossier and come over the Jimmy Davis Bridge. come over the Texas Street Bridge.
Yeah,
which Texas Street Bridge backs up very quickly.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Right.
I don't know the other alternatives. Come to Shreveport Barksdale Highway and then wind your way over to 70th Street somehow. What a mess.
Calling sick.
Not if you work here. No, if you work here, come. But, if you work somewhere else, call in sick. Yeah, I like that.
Well, fortunately, at 4:30 in the morning, it's not that bad.
Yeah.
Right.
Now, it was raining.
Oh.
But
that storm that just moved through and probably contributed to all those wrecks, that was a humdinger of a storm.
Yeah,
it's eased up just a bit, but, man, it was coming down. They were only going about 25 miles an hour out here on the freeway.
Freeway. Where are you from?
It's not a freeway?
On the freeway.
On the freeway. Up on the freeway. What is it?
On the interstate.
Up on the interstate.
We call it an interstate around here,
it's
girl.
A big highway. A big highway.
Coming up after the local news top of the hour, let me just read a few of these messages. We talked about the bill to eliminate state inspection stickers for automobiles has been kind of tabled for right now.
Yeah.
It's not dead, apparently.
Not completely dead.
Because the state police got up and opposed. One of our messages on the Shreveport Security Systems message board, let me guess, LSP is still getting the vape tax and keeping inspection stickers. And politicians wonder why we are sick of all of them.
So I say we take the vape tax back.
Do what's best for the citizens, not state police.
Oh, boy.
Another one says, sounds like the state did a dipsy-do flipperoo on Bagley. He got played.
Well, Bagley's going to tell us what happened coming up after 8 o'clock. Going to the man himself.
Mike and McCarty, 101.7 FM, 710KEEL.com. .101.7 FM, 710 KEEL, Mike and McCarty on the Jack Spring Electric Newsmaker Hotline. District 7 Representative Larry Bagley joining us this morning. Larry, good morning, sir.
Good morning. How are you?
Well, we're doing well. Thank you for stepping up, talking to us this morning. You pulled your bill that would eliminate the need for state inspection stickers. Tell us why you pulled
Guilty. All right. The problem is that I've got originally it was 15 million. Now it's 11 million that go to the state police and also OMB. And while the inspection sticker and the inspection pays that's what their part that those two organizations get or groups get for carrying out stickers. Well, if we do away with the stickers, OMB would not be as as much involved, and it would be much less money for them, but state police was the same. State police just took a hit back during special session with concealed carry because they're the ones that do most of that training, and they lost money that way. So I told them originally that when we first talked about it, and they said they would not oppose it as long as they could keep the money straight. And at that time, I thought we could. Since that time, we've had some problems. One thing I found out, I was going to shift some money around with the ones that were going out of, that were not give the 5 parishes that do around Baton Rouge that have to do it, still do the 6, have to do it admissions check. And it's been like theirs is like $18 a year. And I was going to move some of that money around because they wouldn't need to have that. But I found out I couldn't do that without a constitutional amendment because it changes up the way the money's divided. So we're back at square one trying to work through it. And the state police have told anybody that asks that they're ready to get this thing out of the way. In fact, one of the captains told me that his wife has really been on him because we hadn't been able to do this.
But so I thought they were going to transfer funds from the vape tax, and that was going to cover any loss from this inspection sticker revenue.
Well, that was what was said, and they did get a $20 million raise this year, but they say that was already for something else to do some other things. Of course, the governors asked them. Well, I'm just telling you what was said. And the vape tax is $25 million over 5 years, so it's $5 million a year. But that's all tied up in court, and they may or may not come true. That we don't know that, but they are, and that could be money they get. So all these things are kind of holding things up. I told them I'd work with them. We'd try to get this done and on the end. So again, it's not dead. I told them we're going to do this till it happens because I've got people that have been on me, and I've been doing this for a long time to try to get this, passed. And we are going to get it passed. It's just taking some time.
Larry, the polls, our polls, other polls, 90% of residents want to do away with this inspection sticker. They got to figure this out.
Yeah, I'm one of the first ones that want to do away with it. And in committee, I don't know of anybody. There have been a couple of legislators that have come to me and said, I cannot vote for it because I got people in my district. And I understand that. I've got people in my district too, but they're not many. And the problem is that if you go get this inspection sticker, if you find someone that does it, sometimes they can't do it at that time, or and you're delayed. Well, if you're delayed and you get caught, then it's a $250 fine most places. So that's just, there's no reason to have to put people through that, especially when the car's in good shape. We're just checking for rocks, cracks in the windshield, that sort of thing that anybody can do. And the state police already have the ability, actually any policeman has the ability to stop your car and say, look, your tires are bad, whatever. So it makes no sense to do it, but we are, and I will mention this, we are the only red state that does it. There's no other, there are 11 states that do it. We're the only red state that does it. Everybody else.
Okay, Larry Bagley, a couple of weeks ago, a few weeks ago, state police were saying, when you brought up that you got a right to stop cars for all this stuff, they said, well, we can't really see the bald tires, and those tires cause accidents. That was their argument a few weeks ago. Now their argument is money. So it's like a shell game down there, and it's frustrating. Okay, if you really need the money, move it to my driver's license. Move it to my license plate. If that's real, and I know people are going to be ticked at me for saying that.
Yeah, me.
But if the money is the issue, move the fee to something else so we can get rid of the stupid inspection sticker.
And the thing about it, Aaron, is not a lot of money. If we just moved like $5 or $6 a person somewhere else, it would easily cover all that. So, those are all things that we're talking about now to look at. There's other issues. It's just like any bill that makes sweeping changes, and this would. It's just hard to get everything in line, and this has been very hard. And I will say that state police have always been there and said, look, we want to do this, but this is our problem. Now, if that's true or not, I can't tell. I assume that they are working on good faith like I am. But they do want to talk, and they do. I talked to them yesterday after I got through. They'd like, we'll go with you, and we'll help you devise an instrument that we can push. So that's what we are now, trying to work on that. It's still alive. Don't give up. We're going to get this done.
Well, I will always err on the side of police and law enforcement. That's just my history. That's just what I will do. What is the amount that the state police are receiving now from the state inspection stickers funding?
About $11 million.
Okay.
But part of that goes to OMV too, correct?
No, OMV gets $3 million, but now once the stickers are gone, they'll only get I think it's $1.1 million, something like that.
Okay.
It'd be appreciably less money.
So we need $11 million from another fund.
That's
or from another source.
I talked to the governor's office and to see if that. Yeah, I mean, I told them, I said, you guys look pretty good for this thing. We can get this passed, but they're all the money's tied up now trying to get things done. They would not do it. Said, you'll have to find a place yourself, and that's what everybody's heard. Mm-hmm. So we'll do that. And again, it's just going to it may put us off another year. I don't know for sure. I'm still working on this year, but we're going to get it done. And,
chances of getting it this year, Larry, because I really want it this year. 50-50, 50-50, 90-10?
I'd say it was maybe 40-60.
Against you?
It's yes. And, we're running out of time. And everybody's hollering for money. Of course, we passed the ESA bill yesterday. That's going to take an awful lot of money to get that done. So, everybody's just kind of holding tight. But I'm going to get this done. We're going to be. It's not a lot of money per person or per car, actually, to get this done. I don't think that there's anybody that's really going to fight to try to pay a little more money to get it done. I mean, I'd rather pay $10 a year on my registration than go do that sticker, which is basically what's going on.
Well,
I agree.
Do me a favor, Larry Bagley.
Yeah, I agree.
The lawmakers who are not with you right now, will you go up to them today or tomorrow and will you thump them on the head? For me? Please?
Well, actually, I probably thump them, but not physically, just literally. Maybe.
Okay, do that for me, please. Yeah.
And, Aaron, I'll guarantee you that's one, I've talked about that all year trying to get this prior to the session. I thought I had everything in line. It just, I couldn't get the money to work, and it's still not working. But, again, at one time I was going to move some of that money. I was going to get about $4 million. I'd have changed that around, and I found out I couldn't do that, so that was another problem. It's just there are things that go that don't, but I'm going to get it all taken care of. Eventually it will work.
All right.
Okay, let me throw something out of left field while I have you on the phone, last 30 seconds.
Okay.
And if you don't know, I understand, but being a legislator down in Baton Rouge, I want to know the motorcycle helmet law. Is that progressing at all? Because it's highway related.
Yeah, I know that Representative Shamahorn brought that, who represents part of Sabine with me. And, I hadn't really heard anything against it. I voted for it to give, if you want to ride without a helmet, I'm sure that we should mandate things like that. I'm kind of going with it right now until I hear something differently. I haven't always voted with the helmet group, but I am this year. I think it's okay. If you want to ride the consequences, like smoking. Are we going to mandate you can't smoke anymore? Well,
but
then why mandate seatbelts?
Yeah, what if I want to ride without seatbelts?
Exactly. Well, and there are other things besides just that. But, again, this has been a big push, and I guess ever since I've been in the legislature, they have tried to, do away with the helmet rule. And then now they're saying it hurts us to bring for these motorcycle rallies and things like that to come into the state. They won't come because of the helmet rule. I don't know if that's true or not. I haven't done any research on that.
Oh, I would tend to believe it would be true.
Yeah.
So, I'm for any sort of money that we can get in the state. I'm all for that. We need it, especially our area and Shreveport area. So, I'm going ahead and follow along with that, hoping that some things that I've been told happen. Many times they don't. But I'm going to trust this time and that's not trust.
State Representative Larry Bagley, thank you for your time this morning, and we'll stay on top of it.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir. I appreciate it. Thank you.
101.7 FM, 710 KEEL, Mike and McCarty.
Mike and McCarty on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
If I turn the mic on.
Yeah, it's all right.
With such a dramatic it's going to really kick it off with a bang. Louisiana motorists could face charges. I don't like the wording for helping homeless. Mm-hmm. No, you're not. There are ways to help the homeless without handing out dollar bills out your window at an intersection.
Listen to this new law that's been proposed, though, by Dixon McMakin of Baton Rouge. He's a freshie.
Getting after it, Dixon.
Yeah, he's proposed a bill that would ban you from giving panhandlers money or food or anything of value on street corners. He says, look, we've already banned the panhandlers.
And that doesn't do any good.
But it doesn't help. In Shreveport, it's helped a smidge, but they've only moved into parking lots. You know, they're in front of Target. They're in front of Lowe's.
I see them on the...
And they're still at street corners, too. You're right. You're absolutely right. But he says if we make it now illegal to give them money, it'll be more top of mind for motorists to go, it's against the law. Can't do it. You know, or no, can't do it.
But who's enforcing that?
That's the problem.
A police officer, is a police officer really going to pull you over and give you a ticket because you handed out cash to a homeless person?
No, they're not going to do that.
Of course not.
It's going to make the Karens come out of the woodwork, and they're going to video you giving money out to somebody.
Okay, you just made it worth it.
Yes. They're going to take pictures of you giving money, and then they're going to report you to police and take a picture of your driver's license and say, this person just handed out cash to a homeless guy on the side of the road. I want you to go get him. I don't like to give money out to anyone anywhere. I do not mind giving food, and I have given food out my car window before. I tried rather just to go buy them food and then bring it to them, or they meet me at the restaurant.
Well, ask Ruben his story about the Circle K when he bought food for the homeless person and turned around and what
happened, Rube?
Well, Ruben, this was a while ago. Some guy approached me asking me about money for food, and I was, at the gas pump, and I was like, "Oh, I'm going in, so I'll get you when I get out." I got him a couple of hot dogs, some bags of chips. I think I even got him like a drink, maybe a fountain drink. And I handed it to him. He didn't say anything. I turned around.
Yeah, not a thank you or anything.
No, he didn't say anything. I turned around to pump my gas, and when I turned back around to look, he had left it all by the trash can.
God bless America.
See, that I was walking from my apartment downtown to my job at Chelsea's. This is how long ago this was. On a Sunday morning, getting ready for the Sunday brunch at Chelsea's. I worked where I worked. Mm-hmm. Guy came up just smelling of beer, Hey, man, can you give me a couple $2 for some food this morning?
Yeah.
I said, I don't do that. I said, but I tell you what I'll do. I work right there. Pointed to the restaurant. Come on in. I said, they fix us breakfast. They do what they call family meal. Mm-hmm. I'll fix you a plate of food you won't even be able to finish.
Yep.
Come on in, I'll feed you. He started smiling. Goes, oh, man, no, I just want to go across the river and buy a beer.
God bless.
I said, see, that's why. First of all, you lied to me.
Yeah.
And second of all, no. That's why I don't.
No, exactly. Exactly. Well, this bill sailed through the House and is now on the way to the Senate.
Well, coming up just after the news, bottom of the hour, storms moving through the Arklatex. Richard Llewellyn with the Weather Channel, that's his name, will join us on the Jack Spring Electric Newsmaker Hotline. Mike and McCarty, 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL.
Back to the show with Mike and McCarty on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
Sitting here looking at the Shreveport Security Systems message board.
Are you all right?
Oh, my gosh. So funny. One says, I am so tired of panhandlers. If they can sit on their ass all day on the corner, they can go get a job.
Boy, so many people need workers. That's true.
Yeah. And see, now look, I understand there's a lot of mental illness amongst the homeless, which is why they're there.
Sure. Substance abuse, a lot of it. Yeah.
Right. There is an exit from Walmart in Shreveport City. There is a panhandler's corner.
Oh, absolutely. I see it all the time.
They're organized. Mm-hmm. I'm telling you, they hand the sign from one to the next. Where some homeless person is always begging. It seems they rotate. But on Sunday afternoon, there was a nicely dressed Hispanic man, obviously not. His sign said, "I need help for my family." And he was playing a violin.
The violin guy's been circulating around town. He's been in front of Target. He's been a lot of places. People are seeing the violin guy all over. Look, a lot of this is a scam.
Right.
A lot of it is the same people with the same story, and people are falling for it. One lady gave a guy $100 whose wife left him, and he needs money to get a bus ride to Dallas. This guy's been running that scam all the time.
I just needed money to get to Ellick. I'm trying to get to Ellick.
Yes.
Oh, by the way, have you seen the violin playing videos where the guy's not really, he's playing an MP3 file?
Yes.
And on his little Bluetooth speaker. He's not really even playing the violin.
Yeah.
That's the majority of them. It makes me wonder where they even got, like, those electric violins, even the cheaper ones aren't that cheap.
Right. You got money to buy
and a PA system too.
Fancy thing with it, yeah.
My band had to play shows for 2 years to get a new PA system.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I worked at a retail store, Davis's, where they used to be here, Davis Men's Store, and a guy came in carrying a big boom box, asking for money.
Yep.
And I love it. The lady that worked there looked at him and goes, "How much that radio cost?"
Exactly. I'll buy it from you. It is. Some of the data that shows some of these folks are making $60,000 a year panhandling. Standing out, and they don't even do 8 hours.
Thing, the people that are really in need, it does hurt those people. Because I'm not giving out cash.
Nope,
Sorry,
no cash.
I'm not doing it. Now, we do help in other ways. Mm-hmm. We do support the Hub Ministries, which is a huge homeless ministry in downtown Shreveport.
Yes.
The Shreveport Bossier Rescue Mission, the Salvation Army. There are ways you can help without handing out cash, and we do those things. So don't say I'm heartless.
Right.
Because I don't hand out cash to somebody begging from me.
A bill passed in the House that would ban motorists from giving anything of value to a panhandler. The bill is now on the way to the Senate.
Storms moving through the area. They've lightened up a little bit. They were very heavy earlier and more on the way. Richard Llewellyn with the Weather Channel joins us next. Mike and McCarty, 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL.
Now more breaking news and trending talk with Mike and McCarty on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
101.7 FM, 710 KEEL. Mike and McCarty on the Jack Spring Electric Newsmaker hotline this morning. Richard Llewellyn, meteorologist with the Weather Channel. Possible risk today: wind, tornadoes, hail, death, destruction, mayhem, madness.
Hey.
Look out for large hail. It says all of that on the Weather Channel.
Oh boy! It doesn't say death, destruction.
Yeah. The apocalypse didn't come with the eclipse yesterday. It's coming today.
Oh man! So how bad is it, Richard?
Do we have a possibility of tornadoes and hail today?
Yeah, and a lot of flooding, too. In fact, we just got another flash flood warning for Bossier and Caddo, as well as northwestern Webster, and then Columbia and Lafayette counties in Arkansas till 10:15. We're here in Shreveport already. We've already picked up about 4 inches of rain, and we're going to continue to add to that as we move on through the course of the day as rain trains over the same areas. And this really isn't the big show. The big show is still back down in Mexico, and it's going to swing into the area later this afternoon and tonight and bring the potential for some big storms that could produce large hail, damaging winds, and tornadoes. So, we just go from the frying pan into the fryer, so to speak, as the day marches on, as we're just going to see round after round after round of showers and thunderstorms. This may help us a little bit. This rain that we're getting this morning may help to cut down on the severe weather threat, but we haven't seen that yet. And I think that there's still that chance that we're going to get some stronger thunderstorms in here a little bit later on today as a result.
Richard, my friend, You just said we've gotten 4 inches of rain in the less than 24 hours, I got to assume, because it really wasn't raining until after the eclipse yesterday. And how much more is on the way?
Yeah, so far the climate report that we've got out of Shreveport that came out at 3:45 this morning had 3.81 inches of rain for Shreveport. We've probably picked up another 1 to 2 on top of that. Haven't seen the latest report yet for Shreveport, but we are starting to get the cooperative network of stations. You know, there are a lot of people that have rain gauges, and they take the rain reports and they report them to the National Weather Service, and all that information is fed into the models. Go over across the border into Texas, just south of Marshall. They've already picked up over 6 inches of rain just south of Marshall with an 8 a.m. update that came in from there. So, you know, we're probably talking about the potential in some spots more than 8 inches of rain, maybe 9 to 10 in some spots. And flooding is definitely going to be a concern here as we just continue to see these rain showers, you know, basically tracking from Tyler and Longview right into Shreveport and moving right on up into southern Arkansas as these rain showers just continue to roll in across the same area over and over again. You know, when we look at radar, we can see these showers and storms just kind of backfilling and just kind of rolling right over the top of us. So, you know, we've got a long way to go in regards to the shower and thunderstorm activity. Maybe get a break in here this afternoon, and then we get that second round that comes in this evening.
We under a tornado watch?
No, not yet. That will probably come later today if we do see anything. Right now, you know, with the rounds of showers and thunderstorms that we've got rolling through now, you know, it's kind of keeping the lid on the potential for severe weather. There is a lot of lightning. You know, as I look at the lightning tracker, too, one of the things that we see is just a tremendous amount of lightning with these storms, especially in Caddo Parish, working back over into Harrison County, Texas, where just these storms just continue to feed in. So they've got a lot of dynamic energy associated with it, you know, and these storms just kind of feed back into parts of central Texas, all the way back south of Waco. We're seeing this big line of lightning and thunder associated with these storms. So, you know, we can expect round after round after round of showers and thunderstorms pretty much all day long. And this is going to be a long duration event for us. In fact, the rains could go all the way through tomorrow night before we finally get a break on Thursday from the shower and thunderstorm activity.
Are you getting reports of hail over in the Dallas area headed our way?
We have had reports of hail during the overnight hours tonight, or overnight last night. We did see some reports of hail. It looks like things have kind of calmed down in the Metroplex right now, but one of the things we are starting to see is a lot of, you know, back into Texas, we're seeing a lot of river flood warnings that are starting to go up along a lot of the rivers over there as, you know, the grounds has been saturated. They've had quite a bit of rain here as of late. So we're starting to see some river flood warnings starting to go up. We're going to have to keep an eye on the rivers around here, too, if we get the amount of rainfall activity that we're expecting here in the next couple of days.
Richard Llewellyn with the Weather Channel. Thank you, sir. We appreciate your time this morning. Stay safe.
Thank you, guys. We'll keep an eye on the weather for you.
Thank you. Speaking of the weather, storms are moving across our area, causing power outages. Over 18,000 without power now. We'll talk with William Bradford from SWEPCO coming up right after the break. Mike and McCarty, 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL.
Beck McCarty on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
Okay, I'm going to make some people mad.
Go ahead. Well, me too. Maybe.
Do you have an iPhone? You have an iPhone, right?
Yes, I do.
I use my calendar event. I mean, use my calendar.
Mm-hmm.
If it doesn't go into my calendar, it doesn't happen.
Oh.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
I'm. That's how I keep up with stuff. You know, schedules, appointments. I mean, bookings. Like I've got a fundraiser for the Shreveport Little Theater this weekend. Next weekend is the Scottish Tartan Festival. I can't wait, you know. And I know that because I've got it in my calendar.
Right.
I want July 4th to be highlighted.
Why?
Well, I know when July 4th holiday. You know what I'm saying?
Okay,
the holiday.
Gotcha. Okay.
But El Al Fatir or whatever that is.
Right.
I don't want that in my calendar.
And it's already in there?
Yeah, if you subscribe to the calendars.
Oh.
U.S. holidays, and then it comes up Eid al something, I don't know.
And that troubles you?
It does. It's offensive to me.
Why?
Well, why can't I be offended by something? I mean, come on. Everybody else gets offended, and then we have to make life-changing alterations because somebody's offended. Somebody's panties are in a wad.
Just ignore it.
So I want my panties in a wad.
You can't delete
Memorial Day. I've got Memorial Day.
Yeah.
You can't selectively. I want just regular U.S. holidays.
Okay. And so you've got all kinds of stuff on there.
So it's got all weird, all different things. I'll just say different things.
Okay.
I don't want to offend.
Yeah, I understand. But
if you unsubscribe from U.S. holidays, now I don't know when Memorial Day is. I don't know Labor Day.
Okay.
I don't have any of those now.
But that took all of them off.
Takes all of them off.
But you know when they are.
I couldn't really tell you when Memorial Day
Well, go in
is.
and it's the last Monday in May. Go in and put them back in. If that's like 8 of them, go put them back in, and then.
Why should I have to go in and manually do that?
Then your panties will get out of a wad. Then you won't have the other weird holidays you don't want on there. And you do know when Christmas is, right?
Yes, of course. And see, that's not offensive to me.
That might offend other people.
Exactly. So they get offended. Why can't I get offended on something that doesn't relate to me?
You can get offended.
No, I don't want anybody to be able to have it. If I don't want it, nobody gets to have it. Isn't that how the left works?
OCD much?
If it offends me, nobody gets it. Damn it.
You've lost your mind. You're going to be all right if you've got a thing on there that's just going to bug you. Just sweep past it. It's like people that go, oh, these notifications. Just sweep past them. Just scroll and you'll be all right.
Exactly.
They're not going to hurt you.
It's not.
Oh, deep breath, Mikey Poo. You're going to be okay. You're too funny.
I'm illustrating a point.
I know you are.
Okay, thank you.
I know you are. I get that. And that's true. There are so many people that everything bothers them. Everything bothers them. Oh, I'm going to raise hell about it.
Look for things to get offended by.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. All I want to happen in the next couple of months is get rid of my damn inspection sticker.
Yeah, Larry.
Larry, mine's due in August. You promised me.
Now I got to go get mine again.
Get it redone again.
Which means I have to get it. Never mind. I'm not even going to say anything because then police are going, oh, really? Oh. Watch for Mike leaving work.
Yeah. Nice gold pickup truck. Yeah.
Oh, shut up. It's bright blue.
Yeah, okay. Gotcha.
Yeah. Yeah.
Look at the clock.
Oh, yeah, shut up. 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL.